Hello students, welcome to KENE'S Educare, a group of KENE solutions. This is part 8 of lesson number 13, Why Do We Fall Ill? So in this part, we will be studying about the organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Then after that, we have principle of treatment and principle of prevention to discuss in detail. And after discussing about these principles, at the end, we have immunization to discuss in short, right? So we will be discussing on each and every concept in detail in this part. Okay. So might be next part can be the end of the session because the number of questions that we have at the end to discuss are only 6, right? So next part can be the last part for the lesson because today I'll be covering on like most of the topics. So everyone make sure that whatever we are studying, okay, you know about that concept. ठीक है? So it's very important for you to revise and know the concepts and how can you write that concept in detail. Okay, so before I start with today's part, that is with respect to organ and tissue manifestations, I want each one of you to please revise everything that you have taken note of. Okay. I hope every one of you have started revising it. Okay, so now we have started the lesson why do we fall ill by discussing about health and its failure, right? And under that we discussed on the significance of health. So I want you all to quickly have a quick revision for this. After this, after discussing on the significance of health, next thing that we had discussed is about personal and community issue, right? Because both this personal and community issues, they both matter for health, right? So I want y'all to please go through this quickly. After this, we discussed on the 5F, so I want you all to please go through it. After this 5Fs, we discussed on distinction between healthy and disease free, right? So please go through it, everyone. After discussing about the distinction between being healthy and disease free, we discussed on disease and its causes, where we studied what does disease look like, right? So I want you all to please go through this slide where we studied about the signs and the symptoms and what exactly disease. Okay, so please go through this slide, everyone. After this, like after discussing on disease and its causes, we discussed on what exactly sign and symptoms are, right? So please go through it as well, and please make sure that you know about the concept on signs and symptoms as well. After discussing on signs and symptoms, we discussed on acute and chronic disease. And now you know that acute disease is the one that lasts for a short period of time, whereas chronic disease is the one which lasts for a longer period of time. Like, right? Like if you get a common cold, that's an acute disease because it's going to last for a few days. But when it comes to chronic disease lasts for a long time, and it can even be a like lifelong thing. Okay, so like an example can be cancer or elephantiasis, right? So please go through this, and I hope you all know about acute and after this we discussed on chronic diseases and poor health. Okay, so as you know that chronic disease can even last for lifelong. It can lead to poor health because the immune system becomes weak in that case, right? So chronic disease and poor health go hand in hand. Okay, so please go through the slide, everyone. After discussing on this chronic disease and poor health, the next thing that we had is causes of diseases, right? Like what exactly is causing the disease, what is the mode of transmission. And over here we discussed on the drinking water concept, if you all remember, considering two different babies, where one of the baby like was suffering from loose motion because of the immunity being weak, whereas the other baby survived. Like the other baby didn't had loose motion, right? Because the immunity power was strong. So there are three different reasons which have been given over here. Like on the next slide, I want you all to go through it and even go through the figure. Okay. After this slide here, we have the three reasons which have been given. So I want you all to please go through this slide properly, because this is how you will be able to explain. Okay. I hope every one of you are going through it. After this, we discussed on infectious and non-infectious causes. So I want you all to please go through this causes as well. I hope every one of you are going through this. After this, infectious and non-infectious causes, here we have some of the pictures on it, like the pictures of smallpox, measles, herpes, swine flu are been shared over here. So please go through it, everyone. Then we discussed about the infectious agent. So please go through it, everyone. Then here we have some of the pictures on SARS virus. Then we have the picture of staphylococci. Now remember, SARS is a virus. Staphylococci is a bacteria which can cause acne. Like whenever you get pimples, like which we call as acne, that's mostly because of the staphylococci bacteria. Okay, and this trypanosoma, last one that you can see, trypanosoma. It is the protozoan organism which is responsible for sleeping sickness. So I hope you all have written it properly. You should be knowing this thing. Okay. I hope you all are going through it because you should be knowing like what SARS virus exactly is going to do to your body. Then Staphylococci, as we discussed, that it can cause acne, and trypanosoma is responsible for sleeping sickness. Okay, then after this we have other example, that is of leishmania, which is again a protozoan organism which is going to cause kala azar. Okay, and the last picture that you can see is of an adult earth roundworm which is formed in the small intestine. So you should be knowing this. Okay. After this we discussed about the infectious agents in detail. So we even discussed on why antibiotics are been taken and what impact antibiotics have in our body, right? I hope every one of you are going to this slide because over here as well they have like informed us what are the diseases which have been spread by bacteria, fungi, protozoa and everything, right? So please go through it, everyone. After this, we discussed on the pathway, like how exactly whenever you're taking antibiotic, what happens that antibiotic finds the bacteria and breaks down the cell wall. So the bacterial cell wall is broken, because of which it doesn't have impact on your body. So this is how antibiotic works. Like suppose you're suffering from any bacteria, like bacterial infection, you take antibiotic, okay, and that antibiotic is going to enter in your body and is going to break the bacterial cell wall, because of which the bacteria will become weak and easily die. Okay. After this, we discussed on means of spread, so I want you all to please go through it as well. So over here we discussed on in detail about the, you can say, sexually transmitted disease, right? So I want you all to please be quick with it. Please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on the vectors, how exactly the transmission of diseases takes place, right? So there are two different ways. One is direct contact and the other one is indirect contact. So direct contact can be like physical contact, then through air. Indirect contact can be through food or through mosquitoes or either through the animals, right? After this, now we have to discuss on organ specific and tissue specific manifestations. Okay, so whatever disease causing microbes are there, they can enter that, like they can enter our body through different means, right? We have already discussed about the direct and the indirect ways how microbes can enter our body, right? So where do they go then? Because our body is very large and microbes are microscopic in nature, it means like you can only see them using a microscope, right? Otherwise they won't be visible to you. So there are many possible ways, and there are many possible phase like places like organs or tissues where they could go. Okay, so where they go, they will reach out our organ or tissue. So do all microbes go to same tissue or organ, or do they go to different ones? What do you all think? Will the microbe go to different tissue or organ, or they will go to the same one? So over here, different species of microbes seem to have evolved to home in on different parts of the body. How do they evolve? They evolve to home like in on different parts of the body, and there is a selection. Like in this part, there will be selection which is going to get connected to their point of entry. So if they are entering through air, we know that they can enter through air via the nose, right? And then from nose they will go to your lungs. So in this case, if it is entering your lungs, then it can be a bacteria which can cause tuberculosis, right? And it will happen if the bacteria or the microbe is entering through your nose. Let's say if they enter through mouth, okay, if the bacteria or the microbe is entering through the mouth, they will stay in your gut lining and they can cause typhoid, like they can be typhoid causing bacteria, sorry, and they can cause typhoid, okay, or they can go to the liver like virus. If virus has entered, they will go to the liver and they can cause jaundice. But this needed, like always this is not always going to be the same time, okay. So an infection like HIV, now in the last class if you remember, I told you what is the full form of HIV. So you should be knowing the full form of HIV. It's human immunodeficiency virus. So an infection like this HIV, it comes into our body via sexual organs, and then from sexual organs it will spread through the lymph node all over the body, okay. And after that we have malaria causing microbes. Now if a mosquito comes and bites you, that is how you get, like, the microbe will enter your skin. Through skin it will go to liver and then to your red blood cells, where the number of platelets in your blood will get decreased, okay, because of this malaria. Then virus causing Japanese encephalitis or brain fever will similarly enter through a mosquito bite, but it goes on to infect the brain. Okay, so this is how the microbes are getting into our body through different ways, and mostly they are going to be organ specific or they can be tissue specific. Okay, so you know the pathway, how exactly the microbes are entering our body, because that is what plays a very important role, right? So I want you all to please write all the important points from the screen. We'll complete with this part today, organ specific and tissue specific manifestation. Okay. So after this, here we have about the signs and symptoms, which has been explained on the slide. So see, the signs and symptoms of disease will depend on tissue or organ which the microbe targets, because we just now saw that the microbe can enter and target like any tissue or organ of our body, and it all depends upon the way through which they are entering our body, right? So if the lungs are the target, if your lungs are the target of the microbes, then the symptoms that you will be cough and breathlessness. Okay. If the liver is targeted, then there will be jaundice. Okay. And if the brain is the target, we will observe headaches, vomiting, fits, or unconsciousness. Okay, so you know that if any specific organ is getting targeted, the symptoms of each and every organ is going to be different. Okay, so we can imagine what the symptoms and signs of an infection will be if we know what the target tissue or organ is and the functions that are carried out by this tissue or organ. Sorry. So we can know the signs and symptoms if we are aware of the target tissue or organ, which is the target of the microbe, right? And in addition to this, tissue specific effects of infectious disease, there will be other common effects as well. Like if it's a tissue specific effects, then there can be some common effects as well along with the one discussed. Okay, and most of the common effects, it depends on the fact that the body's immune system is activated in response to infection. Okay, what your body's immune system is activated to, it is activated in response to infection. And an active immune system recruits many cells to the affected tissues to kill the disease causing microbe. Now because your immune system is active, okay, it's healthy, what it will do, it will like affect your tissue and will try to kill the microbe, okay, which is causing the infection. So this recruitment process is called inflammation. Inflammation is like when you see your body gets like inflamed, सूजन आ जाती है ना body में, that is because your immune system is helping you all in fighting against that in bacteria that has entered your body. Okay, so this recruitment process we call it as inflammation. And as a part of this process, there are local effects such as swelling and pain, and zonal effects such as fever. So these are some of the effects that we all go through, right? And in some cases, the tissue specificity of the infection leads to a very zonal seeming effects. For example, if we talk about HIV infection, so in HIV infection, the like virus goes to immune system and damages its function. So because over here your immune system is getting damaged, it becomes very difficult to cure that infection because your immune system is getting damaged because of it. Okay, so thus many of the effects of HIV AIDS are because the body can no longer fight off the minor infections that we face every day. Okay, because the immune system has been targeted by this HIV, like human immunodeficiency virus. It targets your immune system and it makes it weak. So even a small microbe is entering your body, your immune system will not be able to fight against that infection, and instead every small cold can become pneumonia in that case, because your body won't be able to cure that common cold and it can turn out to be pneumonia later. Okay, and if that person gets a minor gut infection, that can lead to major diarrhea with blood loss, and ultimately this is how other infections can kill the person suffering from HIV AIDS. And that is why HIV AIDS is considered to be like highly dangerous disease that a person can get. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this slide. I want you all to write all the important points from this slide, as there are many important points which have been mentioned. Please write those points, everyone. I hope you all are writing this. After this, we have a small part to discuss. See, it is also important to remember that the severity of disease manifestation depends on the number of microbes in the body. Now, how severe the disease has spread in your body, it will all depend on like how many number of microbes has entered your body, because they keep on reproducing as well, right? So if the number of microbe is very small, the disease manifestation will be minor, and many a times it will happen that it will go unnoticed. You even don't come to know that you are suffering from something, because your body will cure that disease and will kill the number of microbes that have entered. But if it is more, then the disease can become severe and can be life threatening as well. So the immune system is a major factor which is going to determine the number of microbes surviving in the body, because immune system is the one which is going to like kill the microbes, right? So if your immune system is strong enough, it will kill the number of microbes in your body. Otherwise, the bacteria or the virus or whatever microbe it is, it will get a chance, and it will like keep on increasing. The number of microbes will keep on increasing and become life threatening and severe. So we will be looking into this aspect a little later in the chapter. Okay, For now, I just want you all to write some small things like about the number of microbes. I hope you all are writing this. Then now we have the next thing, that is principle of treatment, that we will be discussing in the next class. I won't start with this today. So we are left with principles of treatment and then principle of prevention. Okay, to discuss in detail, and after this principle of treatment and principle of prevention, the next thing that we will be discussing on is immunization. Okay, and after this immunization we have the summary discussion for the whole lesson. okay, which we will be doing at the end. We will be revising the whole lesson through the summary part, and then we have like 6 questions to discuss at the end, right? So we will be discussing on all the 6 questions. So I'll be showing you the questions one by one. Make sure you go through the question properly, okay? Because you are the one who's gonna answer this. So I hope you all are going through the exercise question. And this is how we will be ending up with the whole lesson. Why do we fall ill? And I hope whatever we discussed in this part today for this lesson, you are very much clear with it. And please do keep on revising each and every concept, because I want you to be so much confident with the lesson that if I give you any question out of any source, like if it's not the textual question, then too you're able to attempt that. Okay? So I'll end up with this part over here, and I'll continue with the rest of the rest of the part that we are left with for the lesson in the next class. Thank you everyone.